Module 14, Excavations. Excavation hazards. Cave-ins are the greatest risk. Other hazards include asphyxiation due to lack of oxygen, inhalation of toxic materials, fire, moving machinery near the edge of the excavation can cause a collapse, accidental severing of underground utility lines, injury and death. Excavation is one of the most hazardous construction operations. Most accidents occur in trenches 5 to 15 feet deep. There is usually no warning before a cave-in. Definitions. Excavation: a man-made cut, cavity, trench, or depression formed by earth removal. Trench: a narrow excavation. The depth is greater than the width, but not wider than 15 feet. Shield: a structure able to withstand a cave-in and protect employees. Shoring: a structure that supports the side of an excavation and protects against cave-ins. Sloping: a technique that employs a specific angle of incline on the sides of the excavation. The angle varies based on assessment of impacting site factors. Focus of training. The greatest risk at an excavation. How to protect employees from cave-ins. Factors that pose a hazard to employees working in excavations. The role of a competent person at an excavation site. Protection of employees. Employees shall be protected from cave-ins by using an adequately designed protective system. Protective systems must be able to resist all expected loads to the system. Requirements for protective systems. A well-designed protective system. Correct design of sloping and benching systems. Correct design of support systems, shield systems, and other protective systems. Plus, appropriate handling of material and equipment. Plus, attention to correct installation and removal equals protection of employees at excavation. Design of protective systems. The employer shall select and construct slopes and configurations of sloping and benching systems, support systems, shield systems, and other protective systems. Shield can be permanent or portable, also known as trench box or trench shield. Shoring, such as metal hydraulic, mechanical, or timber shoring systems that support the sides. Sloping, form sides of an excavation that are inclined away from the excavation. Protect employees exposed to potential cave-ins. Slope or bench the sides of the excavation. Support the sides of the excavation or place a shield between the side of the excavation and the work area. Cave-in hazard. This excavation has inadequate support posts and egress access. Inadequate protective system. Inadequate protective system. This worker is in a trench with no protective system that is not sloped or benched and has no means of egress. Factors involved in designing a protective system. Soil classification. Depth of cut. Water content of soil. Changes due to weather and climate. other operations in the vicinity. Shoring, general, provides a framework to work in. Uses wells, cross braces, and uprights. Supports excavation walls. OSHA table provides shoring data. Must know soil type. Must know depth and width of excavation. Must be familiar with the OSHA tables. Trench shield. A trench shield was built around this work area. Hydraulic trench support. Using hydraulic jacks, the operator can easily drop the system into the hole. Once in place, hydraulic pressure is increased to keep the forms in place. Trench pins are installed in case of hydraulic failure. Materials and equipment. Equipment used for protective systems must not have damage or defects that impair function. If equipment is damaged, the competent person must examine it to see if it is suitable for continued use. If not suitable, remove it from service until a professional engineer approves it for use. Protection from vehicles. Install barricades, hand mechanical signals, stop logs, grade soil away from excavation, fence or barricade trenches left overnight. Hazardous conditions. The weight and vibration of the crane make this a very hazardous condition. They should not be working under this crane. Spoils. Don't place spoils within 2 feet from edge of excavation. Measure the nearest part of the spoil to the excavation edge. Place spoils so rainwater runs away from the excavation. Place spoil well away from the excavation. Other excavation hazards: water accumulation, oxygen deficiency, toxic fumes, access egress, falls, mobile equipment. Water is hazardous. When water is present in an excavation, it is extremely hazardous to enter. Note that these workers are not wearing hard hats to protect them from material falling into the trench. Water equals cave-in hazard. These workers must be protected from cave-in. Note the water in the bottom of the trench. This is a very hazardous condition. Hazardous atmosphere. Test excavation more than 4 feet before an employee enters the excavation for oxygen deficiency, high combustible gas concentrations, high levels of other hazardous substances. Means of egress. A stairway, ladder, or ramp must be present in excavations that are 4 or more feet deep and within 25 feet of the employees. This ladder does not meet the requirement of the standard. The ladder should extend 3 feet above the excavation. Access and egress. These 2 ladders, which are lashed together, are not adequate means of egress. The ladder should extend 3 feet above the top of the excavation. Protection from falls, falling, loads, and mobile equipment. Install barricades. Use hand mechanical signals. Grade soil away from excavation. Fence or barricade trenches left overnight. Use a flagger when signs, signals, and barricades are not enough protection. Competent person must have had specific training in and be knowledgeable about soil classifications, the use of protective systems, the requirements of the standard, must be capable of identifying hazards and authorized to immediately eliminate hazards. Inspection of excavations. A competent person must make daily inspections of excavations, areas around them, and protective systems before work starts and as needed. After rainstorms, high winds, or other occurrences which may increase hazards, and when you can reasonably anticipate an employee will be exposed to hazards. If the competent person finds evidence of a possible cave-in, indications of failure of protective systems, hazardous atmospheres, or other hazardous conditions, exposed employees must be removed from the hazardous area. Employees may not return until necessary precautions have been taken. Site evaluation planning. Before beginning excavation, evaluate soil conditions, construct protective systems, test for low oxygen, hazardous fumes, and toxic gases, provide safe in and out access, contact utilities, determine the safety equipment needed. Summary. The greatest risk in an excavation is a cave-in. Employees can be protected through sloping, shielding, and shoring the excavation. A competent person is responsible to inspect the excavation. Other excavation hazards include water accumulation, oxygen deficiency, toxic fumes, falls, and mobile equipment. This concludes the presentation on excavations.